What's up, Melanated family? This is your boy Harrison from MelanatedFathers.com and Melanated Fathers TV, bringing you another episode of the Melanated Convo podcast, where we basically have in-depth conversations with individuals from our community that are passionate about what they do. And it don't matter if they a construction worker, an entertainer, a parent, work for UPS. It don't matter. We all have dreams. We all have different aspirations that we're trying to pursue. And I think talking to people who are passionate about what they do is motivating for all of us. Also, on the show, we like to highlight a few Black businesses. If we are under the correct understanding in our community, we support a lot of people outside of our community. But sometimes I hear from people that, certain shit they want to support, they can't necessarily find. So I wanted to create a platform where we talk about businesses that you may not be aware of, give you their information. And I think the most important part is you don't always have to shop with a Black business, because at the end of the day, it's about quality too. It's about quality. It's about convenience. So we all are aware of that. But I just ask, if you're about to buy some shit, before you buy it, just see if somebody you know that's Black is selling it, whatever it may be. So we just want to be aware of who's selling goods and services in our community. So if and when we need it, we can holler at them. You feel me? So first things first, the first business I want to talk about today. My boy Mike Dorsey has a fly platform called BlackFathersNow.com. Now, what does he do? On BlackFathersNow.com, he has a podcast where he's at over 100 and some episodes so far, where he talks to Black men about parenting, about business, about finances, about school, just some real good shit that he does. So I want everybody, if you can, go to BlackFathersNow.com, check that out. Now, also on the website, not only does a brother have a podcast, but he has a whole multimedia thing going on, because he has apparel. He has the Black Father Now apparel that you can buy and support that. He also, because I've had the opportunity of speaking with the brother and interviewing him before, he also has a book he released called Black Dynamic Fatherhood Manifesto, where he goes into the things he's learned as a parent. So for all my Black fathers out there, even women, that want a new perspective and some insight on how Black men think, everybody out there, please do me a favor. Go support my boy Mike Dorsey. He started to do lectures and things like that as well. So to watch the brother's evolution from where he first started to where he is now is definitely some amazing shit, man. So go to BlackFathersNow.com just to check it out and see what he's doing. Feel me? Now, also, this is a local company called UrbanMeDown.com. UrbanMeDown.com. So if you are in a situation where you have an event coming up, like myself, I had a softball game I did earlier this year. I contacted them. They was able to make my shirts for me. They did it in one day. The shirts was fly. I was able to wash the shirts several times and they still look good. So if you looking to get a custom shirt, whether for an event, whether for a funeral, whatever you got going on, you should try messing with UrbanMeDown.com. They got the same day print service. Like I said, they customize it to the exact amount of shirts that you need. The sisters that run that company really be on their job. So the next time you need a shirt, the next time you need something printed, please holla at my people at UrbanMeDown.com. Now, for the interview today, I'm here in Sacramento, California, and, being a 39-year-old man who, I'm still a big hip-hop enthusiast, I'm always curious to talk to the younger generation about the music they do and about how they get down, because as we all know, how hip-hop is presented today, how the older generation kind of perceives it. Some of that has changed a little bit. So I like to talk to the people involved in the music just to get some insight on how they feel, what motivates them to get into it. So on today's show, not only do I have an up-and-coming hip-hop artist from my city, but he just so happens to be my little cousin too. So again, it's really important that anybody that's passionate about what they're doing, it's important that we give them platforms to talk about it, platforms to express themselves, because in America, working a typical 9 to 5 is the route that most people take. So if you see somebody working outside of that framework to make a particular dream happen, I got to get behind that, whether it's hip hop, whatever they may be doing, right? So on the show today, we're going to have a real good conversation with my little cousin, with hip hop artist Lil Dee Sixx. How you doing, Lil D?
I'm good, man.
Good.
Appreciate you for having me on.
Definitely. And like we were talking about, it's overdue that we hooked up and just had a conversation
Fact.
about your music. I've been watching what you do, and the progression, just the consistency.
Yeah.
Because like I was saying, doing anything outside of a 9 to 5 is some hard shit, bro, because most people aren't accustomed to living that life. So training yourself to be disciplined in whatever
Mhm.
craft you decided to do, to me, to stay dedicated to that shit, that's some admirable shit. So I want to make sure that everybody is aware of what you're doing. You feel me?
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Definitely. Now, so let's get everything started from the beginning here. Talk to us
Okay.
about what age did you start rapping, and what motivated you to get into it?
Uh, that's kind of a tricky question because, like, what age is not like a particular age, I would say.
Hmm.
Like, I always had my ear to music because
Mhm.
at first, like, as you know, my uncle is Calvin, so
Mhm.
our first focus was football at first.
Mhm.
Even ever since I came out the womb, because my story is a little different. We'll get to the childhood later,
Mhm.
but my childhood forced me to football. Once I saw football and basketball, I was like, that's the way out. That's
Mhm.
how I'm gonna do it. Then when I got to college, I learned the system and how the politics play into it, and it's not everything that you think it is from when you see it to from TV to even being in it. So it kind of led me to because my major in college is journalism and mass communication. So
Hmm.
I always had a knack for writing. So then it was just to the point of just like actually taking it serious. So after I got out of college, I'm like, you know what? I kind of need a business now.
Hmm.
So and then once I learned onto the independent game, a rapper out of Oakland, Lee Majors, once he put me on the independent game, it was
Mhm.
just like, okay, this is what I need to be doing. You know what I mean? Like, especially for black owned, like I kind of everybody dream in music is mostly I want to get a deal. I want to do this, but me, I kind of wanted to push it myself.
Hmm.
Especially being from SAC, our our generation growing up, because I'm a little older than the young cats, but younger than the older cats.
Mhm.
Like I'm kind of in the middle. My mom and your cousin put me in that predicament from
Mhm.
being born young but early, if that makes
Mhm.
sense. So
No.
it's like in a sense of I kind of seen it for what it was, and it's like I'm not in the rap game basically for the fame and that. It's just I really can write, and I've sold up the business part, so it's like why quit?
Hmm. Interesting. You say that because, when I framed the question, I was kind of thinking about um, our community, how for a lot of us, rapping is a viable option for a lot of people. Like a lot of people
Yeah,
see rapping as a way out just because of our affinity for hip hop. I mean, that's all we listen to. That
yeah, yeah,
become the
yeah.
most successful people that we can see right in front of our face. You know what I'm saying? But
Yes.
to hear you say you was more motivated about the ownership part of it, that was a little off-putting for me because most younger dudes, it's about the pussy, it's about the money, it's about the fame. You know
Facts.
what I'm saying?
But
They
I was a high recruiter athlete, so that came already naturally. That was all, you know what I mean? We was already doing all that, especially all my homies.
hmm,
So it just became more of like, I got to actually get in the studio. Then it became to the point I got to get my own studio. Then it was like the copyright. Then it was like how I'm going to put it out and distribute it myself.
hmm,
Then it was the networking. So it's just been step by step by step because
okay.
I graduated high school '07, played football for 3 years in college. And
Hmm,
then after that, it was just like, once I came back home to SAC, it was like, I got to get, you know what I mean? I can't just, I'm dope. Everybody I'm dope, but now it's like, how can I see some residual income from it?
hmm.
So that's kind of been the motive. It's like, that was the motivation, like getting residual income.
Okay. And tell me what college did you go to, bro?
I went to West Valley Junior College and then San Jose State for a year.
Okay. All right. Damn. Okay. So you got to experience that. That's interesting to me too, because I went to college, but I went here like in Roseville, so it wasn't that far. But
Okay,
I
yeah.
got partners who went away from Sacramento to school, and I think that shit's like that shit's like therapeutic. You know what I'm saying? To get away from your city, and have to live on your own, and have to be in a different environment as a young
Yeah.
person. That's like a golden type of experience.
Yeah. I mean, now looking back though, I wish I'd have stayed home.
Why is that?
Finances,
Hmm.
my mom had me young, so really my support was my grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like once I got to a certain age, my grandparents were like, look, we can't fund this, we can't fund this. So it was like getting out there to the real world. Like if I'd have stayed in SAC, I felt, because I went to a junior college.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt, but they were recruiting me. So that's the same junior college my uncle went to. So I already had connections. So it was like, let me just go there, to play football. But now looking back, I should have went to, I say like an ARC or a Sac City, because I could have did the same thing with less money. Because I would have had a lot of fault. You know what I mean? Like when I was out there, I was sleeping in cars just to live.
Damn. Okay.
You know what I mean? So it was kind of tough, but it made me who I am today.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Because that's all I was speaking to is just like the experience of being away from your home and have to
Oh yeah,
figure it
yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yep. Now, so I want to talk to you for a minute about like your feelings about Sacramento hip hop. So me being a little bit older, me coming up like in the early 90s, it wasn't many hip hop artists in Sacramento. We had Sebo, we had Brother Lynch, just to name a few. You know what I'm saying? Marv Mitchell LeMay, some other Ski 64, some other people, Gangsta Dre, all these people were
Mhm.
staples in the hip hop community. Now,
Yeah.
even though I still follow hip hop, I'm a little disconnected from everything we have going on in Sacramento. Now, of course, I know Lavish D.
Okay.
I'm aware of their
Yeah.
music and their movement separately. But talk to me about
Yeah.
the Sacramento hip hop scene and how you feel about
I feel it's still. I don't think we moved up.
it. Hmm.
I think it's still where it's been when Sebo was rapping.
Hmm.
Because when Sebo came out, you gotta understand, like, one of the most glorified artists is the Jacka
Mm-hmm.
and the Mob Figures.
Yep.
Sebo put them on.
Yep. The first album. Yep.
So a lot of Bay music is really it comes from Sac. So
Hmm.
I just think we, like, the media portrays it a certain way,
Mm-hmm.
and I just think we haven't had a consistent base of this artist and this artist. But we've like a lot of people can't tell you about Goodfella records, but they was killing back in the day when I
Yeah.
was growing up.
Yep. Yep. That's true.
And it's like no one will talk about that. So Sac, we always been. I even give another example. Mac Dre left the Bay to come here.
That's very true. He lived here for a while.
So the culture, we always had the culture. I just think now we're getting a bigger light because of social media.
Very true.
So,
Yep.
and then everybody's peeping our gang situation. So that's really getting a big light too. Because me, that's kind of why you probably don't hear me, like, on Fizzler and all these places, because of I'm not gang affiliated. My music is just straight music. So when you talk to me, you got to just hear the music. It's not clout. It ain't I'm fighting this person or I'm beefing with. Cause I'm cool with the P. I'm cool with everybody. G Parkway. So I got family from everywhere, and that's what helps music. So you know what I mean. But just because that's how I tell people too. Just because you don't see a person on TV, that don't mean they ain't getting money.
That's very true. Yep.
That don't mean you ain't selling. That don't mean they ain't famous. That don't mean they ain't selling shows. Like, that's kind of the stigma too. If you're not in the limelight, they don't. You know what I mean? It's only two rappers that they big up in our city, and those are the ones that's pushing the most destruction.
Very true. Very true. Because, being a little older, because I know younger dudes who don't like Mozzie or Lavish D, not based on music, but based on their affiliation with one side or the other. And they can use those tribal differences to affect how they feel about the music. I think being a little older, I'm just able to take the bullshit out of the music and listen to what they say. You see what I'm saying? Because I don't have no affiliation, because I'm a little further away from it, I'm just listening to bars and music. And,
Exactly.
you know,
It's not about that no more, though.
it's not about that. And we're in a time too where people aren't as authentic as they used to be.
Yep.
So if I hear something and it just sounds original or it sounds different, I know how to put to side some of the shit you may be talking about, because, I'm aware of what we're faced with in the Black community. So in my opinion, until our communities change financially and some things get to changing, these young Black dudes coming from the hood, I mean, that's kind of what they talk about. That's kind of what they see. That's kind of what's going on.
Yeah, it is. It is.
You know,
And like I say, I don't knock people for that, but I just think it's a lack of education. Like Black community is the highest single mother rate, so a lot of us are raised just by straight moms, so we emotional. So when they hear the music, it's like, dang, I vibe with it like that, and this is my life. When actuality, it's not really nothing you're going through, but the music makes you do a certain thing. Now, once we get fathers back in the home, and your dad can rationally let you know, like, bro, this is just straight entertainment.
That's what I've been able to do for right, bro.
Once we get back to that, then I think it wouldn't be such a hassle, because these white kids, they see it as entertainment.
Very true.
They don't really see it as, I'm really from here, even if I ain't,
They buy
it's like, yeah, so it's like, we just got to it's a certain mindset.
Yep, that's a good
point. And that's just,
because I know a lot of the younger people who, let's say they listen to a Mozzie or any street-oriented artist, they don't have the ability to take out like the gems he's spitting or the wordplay.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Everybody got some knowledge to drop to you. Everybody got a story. Like E40 said, you can learn from a baby. Like,
damn right. Yep.
You know, so it's not that he's not spitting jewel. I just think it's the clout of it. People look at the fame. Now, whoever got money is the realest. Like, if you ain't got no money, nobody even want to hear your opinion. If you ain't in a jet, if you ain't, so it's just that's where society is right now. But it's like, for me, I've seen that, and I will stay where I'm at with my music. Like, if you see, it's no gang violence. We smoke a little tree. That's really about it. But it's legal, so it ain't like it's, So it's like, I try to keep a balance though. Cause I gotta let them know, like, bro, I'm really from Iraq. Like, I really grew up in it, and it's like I just chose to go different. That's kind of what my message is trying to show to the kids. Like, that's cool that we really from here. I got cousins that bang and all this stuff, but it's like I separated myself from that. We made it our own way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what's up, bro. That's what's up. Now, so I want you to, because I was listening to a lot of your music, and you reference your childhood, you reference your pops, you kind of put your story in the music. So talk to everybody about how you grew up.
I mean, if you hear my songs, it's really self-explanatory. My mom had me at 13, and I never really had a dad. So that kind of is like the chip on my shoulder all through life. Especially, like I told you, playing football, it's like, I'm trying to be the best football player ever, but all my homies' dads are here, mine ain't. So it's like that kind of had a mindset differently. But having like my uncle around, my grandpops, coaches, to steer differently, to show, it's something that's like people substituted it. So it didn't really hurt me. I talk to kids about this all the time. Just because something happens don't mean it's right. You know what I mean? So I saw that my mom had me young, and pops was selling drugs and in the streets. So that kind of helped me not want to be that even more. You know what I mean? Like, if my mom had me at 13, I'm supposed to be dead or in jail, 15 kids running around, and my pops got heck of kids.
He do.
So for me to be 30 and have no kids and still pushing the way that I'm pushing, I think, that's just the motivational factor from my childhood. And it made me stronger. So I kind of, speaking on that, because I know it's melanated father. So speaking on like my dad's situation, I seen cause I used to be kind of bitter, like, damn, my dad never was around. Fuck this nigga. Hate him. My bad. I don't know if I can cuss.
No, yeah, please, yeah.
Okay, it was like, man, I hate this nigga growing up. But I seen a clip by Ray Lewis, and Ray Lewis was speaking, and it kind of like put chills in my body because he said the same thing about his dad, and then he said that he had a chance to talk to his dad while he was older. And his dad, and he basically said, you know, speaking on the story, he was just like, my dad didn't leave because he hated me. He left because the world pushed him out.
Yeah.
And once I heard that, it kind of made like, you know, you 14, 15, you got a kid. I wouldn't know what to do. You know, I wouldn't know how to survive. So it's kind of like, I don't blame no, you know what I mean? That's just life. That's just the way it is. So I couldn't imagine, you know, that's your cousin and you know him better than me. So I couldn't really speak on what was going on at that time or what he was going through or his environment. So, you know, I would have loved like to have him here today. That's kind of the only down.
Yeah.
Like he passed away. So it's like, he can't see what I became or even talked about it. But it's like, that was just the childhood. I just think it was just more of trying to make it out, seeing what Sack was about, seeing what Cousins was doing. It's like, I just wanted to just get out. And once I got out, it was just like, now, what can I do for the community?
There we go. That's a perfect attitude, man. And what I can say about that, but I know for sure. So I think what you've done by becoming a certain age and looking back and saying, I think Ray Lewis helped you look back and say, well, what was he going through? Like, let me look at the other side of the scope and see, bro, because on some real shit, our family has been suffering from like the blind leading the blind for a while. So my cousins didn't really have a stable father. Me and my brothers really didn't have a stable father. So what happens is you a kid without a man that's raising you, so you don't have a proper structure that was given to you by a man, and then all of a sudden you have this kid. Well, that shit just don't happen overnight. You just don't become no good parent. If you've never been around a man, so what the fuck you do to this kid? Now, I will say this, because I got 5 kids myself, and I've had with their moms and all these different type of shit, but I've never not been around my kids. But of course, there's been issues and difficulties, but I've tried my best to remain somewhat of a consistent present, like as much as I can.
Fact.
But I had to learn how to be a goddamn father. Like literally, I could reference my father being in the house, just like you mentioned a few moments ago about how, you know what I'm saying, none of us have fathers in the house. Bro, when I was young, I had one friend that had his dad in his house, and the shit looked weird. Like they would eat dinner, have to leave to go eat dinner. We used to be like, what the fuck? He got to go eat dinner, not knowing this is just normal shit. You see what I'm saying? So we be so far removed from normalcy that we don't be knowing what the hell going on. You feel me? So
exactly. But I had a tense, like I told you, my mom had me at 13, so she's strong with her parents. So I don't know if you know my grandparents, but I've lived with them ever since I was a kid. So that kind of, I like it like I had parents, but I didn't, like in a sense. So that kind of had a foundation too. And then my Uncle Calvin, he was on me tougher than life. So like, he used to tell me that as a kid, like, bro, you don't have, like, you got to get to where you got to get to, because look at you, you know, look where your parents are. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and that was just motivation.
And, you know, I think even when you a young black man and you don't have a father around or a man around, shit, you still got to live your life. So you still try to, you got to have to figure out, okay, well, how can I be a man? How can I teach myself how to be a man? How can I, because my next question was going to be from your male influences, and it sounds like Calvin was one of your male influences, and Calvin, Calvin's stand-up dude, right? So even if you don't have a father per se, having a positive male influence can still go a long way.
Exactly. And it takes a village to raise somebody. So that's kind of how I saw it. So from being with my uncle to then going to my grandpa, then the Southside Viking coaches, you know what I mean? Teachers. It was just like me, I was just using everybody. as a crush. I was getting cool with everybody. So it was just, you know what I mean? It was a lot of male influences that were around.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's all we can do. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
I think being bitter for too long, that
It's gonna hurt you.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you mentioned that you being 30 and not having kids. I think that of course it's a rarity in our community, but I think that needs to become more commonplace. I think too many of us, we have kids way too early when we haven't established ourselves in the world. We haven't decided, do we really love this fucking woman? You know what I'm saying? So what you doing, bro, that's some strong shit in itself, and you need to be commended for that, because you're gonna have more insight to give your kid. You're gonna have more
exactly. You know what I mean? Right.
Prepared to be a man for your woman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And as you just said, Pops ain't had nobody either. And it's like, I don't know if his Pops had somebody. So it's like, why not cut the cycle? Why not change the cycle?
There we go.
You know what I mean? I got one song I just put out, a hood cycle. It's kind of like same thing, like changing the cycle. What you gonna do to change?
Yeah.
Because we it's gonna only get worse. Like it's getting worse out here.
Yep. No doubt.
So it's like having my future son as in a handicap, or what I went through, that's not gonna survive nowadays.
True.
It's gonna be way, you know what I mean? So
very true. Yep. That's why, when I had my kids, bro, I had 4 kids by the time I was 20 years old by 2 different women, right? So the biggest thing that was on my mind, D, was I got to make sure these kids know each other. I got to make sure they're around each other. So from when they were born to just a couple years ago, I get my kids, we all come together. If I got money or if I don't got money, that shit don't matter.
Yeah.
We gonna eat noodles or a steak. It don't matter, but we together. You know what I'm saying?
Right, and that's what they need.
That's what they need, bro. And 2 of my older boys, they have kids now. And even though, because like I just told you, based on my experiences and what I've seen, I think a man shouldn't have a baby. This is my opinion. A man shouldn't have a baby till at least mid-20s. At least mid-20s. Now, my sons both had a baby at 19, and I was disappointed in the fact that they may have to go through some of the things I went through, but when I recollect on how they are with their daughters, they're good fathers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They made it a point to be around, and I'm sure they're using some of the shit I taught them with their daughters, and that's a beautiful thing. You feel me?
That is. Yeah.
All right.
Definitely. We got to clap for that.
So what I wanted to talk about, switch reels here for a minute. We
were
talking to each other on Instagram, and I think I posted it. I'm not sure what the video I posted was about, but you basically let me know that you voted for Trump, right? Now, because I do this media thing now, and I put myself out there, and I'm always talking about shit, and I'm talking to people.
Yeah.
When I first got on social media, I was like most people. If somebody say some shit I don't like, I'm blocking.
Yeah.
If somebody come with a perspective I'm not familiar with, I'm like, oh, what the fuck they talking about? What I've learned is that cancel type of culture attitude is really the detriment to all of us now. So I'm making a point. Somebody say something I don't like, somebody say something I'm not aware of or don't know about. Let's have a conversation about it, man.
Did you just see the did you see the Revolt Summit?
I did.
Okay. And did you see in there where Killer Mike, he had a good point. He said that there's something that T.I. can say. There's something that Candace Owens got. There's something that this lady got, that we all can put together. But if we all shut each other out, we can't hear what the fuck we talking about.
Very
and
true.
I feel that's what happens in the black community.
All the time.
It's like the media and the liberals tell us what to do. We do it. And if you're against the grain, nigga, fuck you. It's like you can't even think for yourself anymore.
Now, I will say, so I've heard a lot of negative things about Candace Owens. Like before I heard the Revolt, before that day, I've never heard the sister speak. I've seen different posts here and there about her. But again, like I said, I'm trying not to do that no more. I don't want to jump to conclusions.
Okay.
Now, during the Revolt Summit, did she say some things I disagree with? Sure, but that was her opinion. They cut her off prematurely. It'd be like Big Mike.
They would not let her talk at all.
Nigga, he was letting them know y'all acting like niggas right now, so y'all need to calm down. But I will say this though. Here's the caveat to all that.
Okay.
In our society, when we look at black folks, or no, I'll take it back a little further. This is what I was saying to you in the Instagram post. When we were back in slavery days, when we was tired of the shit, we wanted to revolt. There was like always a different uprising, right? Like every other week, we don't talk about it a lot, but niggas was trying to run all the time. Now the thing is, the biggest reason why they weren't able to leave, or the biggest reason why a lot of these uprisings were foiled, was because of black people who thought Massa's ice was colder. Now, I only make that point because when I first heard Candace Owens talk, I gave the sister the benefit of the doubt. I looked up more videos. She was just speaking at like a congressional hearing the other day. I listened to the whole thing, and she said, and this is something I vehemently disagree with, she basically said that white supremacy or racism isn't.
And what's so crazy is I'm on your website right now, and I purposely highlighted this because that's what I wanted to talk about.
Okay, because here's the thing. That, and again, I'm a vehemently disagree with her because shit, the FBI came out a few days after she said that and said, yeah, white nationalism is pretty high up on the goddamn list. Now, I can understand somebody saying, I don't think racism is our biggest problem. Shit.
No.
I agree with that, but I will say, okay, cool. You can give your opinion. But to say it's not on the top 100 things, to me, that's a person we have to watch out for. So I don't have no bad words for the sister, but that shit is alarming because I feel like when you say something like that, I feel like if we put her in a room with 20 of the brightest black minds and they're going to come up with a plan for black folks, or they're going to come up with something we can start doing tomorrow to help our people, I feel like she could take that information, bring it back to the people on the other side to kind of foil our uprising, so to speak. You see what I'm saying? So some black folks, you gotta look, you gotta handle them with kid gloves because they could be their verbiage and how they conduct themselves can be a little detrimental. Now what was you gonna say?
Looking at that, I would say that 100 is kind of far fetched. But honestly, I don't think it's top 10.
Okay, all right.
So I wouldn't say 100, but it's like the first thing I'm gonna say is if you've seen the summit, she put out a stat that no one wants to talk about, and she said that in the black community, the single mother rate is at 74%.
Facts. That's facts. That's not factoring in.
And I was born in '89. My mom had me at 13.
Yes.
So let's look at that. Like, 74%. That's a quarter of. If it's a complex with 100 people. If G Parkway got 100 people, 74 of them out of 100 is no dad in the home.
True. Yes.
So what do you think that's gonna do to that little boy that's growing up? That's emotional. That's why we chilling. Because it ain't ain't no dads no more to be like, nigga, sit your ass down. Or do this or do that. It's like it's all ran by mothers. And I'm not, I love the queens, but it's like you can't teach a man how to be a man.
Not at all. Now
even the females, right? As a female, the first person that validates you as a woman is your dad.
Yes, sir.
A lot of these girls ain't getting that. That's why they think that their body is everything. That's why it's kind of hard for me to have a kid, because a lot of these women, they feel that they just like, I want to know your mind. I want to know who are you. You don't even know who you are because you just sexualize yourself so much, and that's what people want. And guys do go for that, but it's just like that's one right there. No one talks about gangs. Nobody. Gangs is killing our community.
They are.
Don't nobody want to talk about the gangs.
They are.
Nobody stands up on gangs. They had a protest for an unarmed black man getting shot, but when a black man killed another black man, so just said that's two right. That's two right there. Our finances.
Yep.
We don't know how to handle money in the black community. People talk about black-owned businesses, but if we put our money in the black-owned businesses, are they spending it in the black community back? Because that's what Asians do. It's cycles. They money cycle. White people, they money cycle. They gonna get the money and bring it back to their community. The Arabs, but we don't do that. We spend it with everybody else.
Now,
so it's like
here. So
my bad.
So this is my take on that. So, I think this is where sometimes the argument gets kind of convoluted, because everything you said is right. Like a white Republican will stand up and say some of the bullet points you just said. Hey, this is what's wrong with the black community. Finances, single parent home, they kill each other. But this is my take on it, just from looking at it from a historical perspective. Everything you mentioned is a byproduct of white supremacy, bro. If we look at
right. Okay.
We look at the 74% thing again. That's a goddamn fact. And it's not factor in like a dad who ain't married to the girl but still go over there.
If
you factor that in, I think it would still be close to 70%, right? But here's the thing. But I always ask myself, why is it just parents in the home? Am I gonna think that black men ain't shit to the point where we just leaving our kids? Why aren't we in the home? See, that's the conversation that I think politicians, white ones specifically.
And when Candace Owens speak on that, she lets you know that the liberals have set up. I don't like saying liberal because they both on the same. The Republicans, Democrats, they all together. So I'm not really. It's just I just feel it's like the Civil War. It's like the North and the South. It's just two corrupt white people. Who you gonna join? That's basically. So I'm not looking at. I'm just saying, as black people, we're just so known as just Democrats. We love them guys. We're gonna vote this, vote that, just because he's a Democrat. And a lot of the policies that they put in, like welfare and all this stuff, it sets up for a woman to get all these benefits if they kick you out the house.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? Like the white lady, she looks at her man.
Yeah.
So the Indian lady looks at her man. The black lady in America looks at the government.
There's some truth.
They don't even look at black dudes no more. That's just how low it is got because of the money that they can get from just having a kid by you. They can get a house, they can get food, they ain't gotta work. All they gotta do is have another one. They're gonna get some more money and some more money. I'm not putting that on that, but I'm just saying if we don't start taking accountability for us, it's still the same thing gonna happen. I don't even think it's on white supremacy to that point. Why are we giving them that much power?
Well,
that's saying that white people is over us.
Well, here,
in a sense, right?
Great point. Great goddamn point. It's a good conversation we having, bro. When I say white supremacy, this is what I mean. Black people are the creators of pretty much math, science, all the shit we see. However, I'm saying white supremacy on a social level. Socially, they are above us. Socially,
right.
I can't touch them socially. Now, like it's a lot of layers to it, but they're not more supreme than we are. But in this society, this is my thing. If you look at anybody that's famous in black or any big black movement that's tried to move forward, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street, my opinion is the reason why some of these things didn't go right is because we thought we can just do whatever we want and ignore these white folks and do whatever we want and we're going to be fine. Well, they're going to come along, change the goddamn rules, make some shit up to throw y'all off track. So you have to deal with the elephant in the room. So again, we can buy businesses, we can buy any car we want, but all this is social shit. If we look at the bigger picture, they have all the money, they have all the control. So I don't think we should focus on it, like just talk about that. But that's the elephant in the room.
In this sense too, piggyback on me with this. What makes money popular? Like, what makes money good? If everybody said, nigga, fuck your money, money wouldn't be nothing.
Very true. It's just paper.
You see what I'm not saying that's just so easy to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, a lot of us say a lot of stuff like, it was just easy. Let's just stop going to work. Like, no, I mean, I see how the system is, but it's like black people, we contribute to our detriment so bad that it's like a motherfucker can't even take us seriously. Because, you know, it's like it's like when I go into an office to have a meeting or to the way I dress, it's like they look at me different because you're a black man, you ain't supposed to be like that. Because of what we put on ourselves. And I just think we just gotta, I don't know what, I can't even explain it. It's just too far off. Honestly, I don't even know what we gonna do.
I think everything you saying is true, and there's some truth to it. I just think if there's a bigger system at play, it's up to all of us to learn it and understand what they're doing. Because I'm saying everything I'm saying, but at the end of the day, it's late in the game, family. Racism and all that shit, we know about it. So I think that's why I be big on history. I'll be big on teaching people about what has happened so you can figure out how to move forward. Now, just blaming somebody for your detriment, that's not taking accountability, just like you said. And
that's what we need to do.
A part of the problem, though. We can't ignore racism.
But every white person ain't on a slave.
Not at all.
Right.
Not at all.
A lot of white people out here is I don't know how to say. I don't want to, like, you know what I mean? Like, only real white people out here that's really getting money is the elite white people.
You're right. The poor white
people. These average white people are effed up out here.
Niggas, just like us. The system treat them the same way. You're right.
So that's why it's killing us, because we make it black and white. We make it that kind of issue when it's really the country.
So true, but somebody told me that, because Candace Owens has mentioned this. She said that it's not much as about racism as it is classism, meaning the money you got put you in a different class, right? But if you got $1 billion and you a nigga, and you $1 billion and you a white boy, the doors
two different people
through, but the doors you can get through, the access you will have is still different. So if they block you, even with $1 billion, if they block you because you black, well, then that's racism. Then we right back to where we started. So focus on it all day, every day. Not really, but we need to understand it. We can't dismiss it.
Right.
And you mentioned like the gangs and everything. You right. Like, that's, to me, if you don't own the block you live on, this is real shit. If you don't own the block you live on, but you willing to shoot me over this street that your grandma renting at, like Jay-Z said, that's bullshit.
Backwards.
Like, that's some bullshit. So, but how I see it is, when we started, we didn't want to start gangs. White violence made us click up and start gangs. Killing the Black Panthers made us start gangs. So again, the problem, the start of our problem, is with this particular fraction of society that you can call
right.
Whatever you want to call a shit. You see what I'm saying? So when I have the conversation, I don't mind saying, because I talk about that too. Black folks, be accountable. Brush your goddamn son's hair. Put some shoes on that little nigga. Make sure he's saying thank you and please. You see what I'm saying? This is all we can control today. But at the end of the day, I'm going to give you this book about racism just so you can know how all this shit was started. Then you can have like a blueprint on how to maneuver around it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel
it just got too far. I think we just got too far down the rabbit hole fast. And it's like, now it's like we don't know what to do, because we came from slavery. We looking where we going. It's kind of, it's you know, life ain't bad. It ain't like I'm walking down the street and they like, nigga, coon, da-da-da.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like back and forth. But it's just like, I just feel that black people are just so, it's like it's like Asian people. They don't care about voting because they work on their economics.
True.
So voting for somebody is like, I ain't tripping. Like, we we just don't think about the right stuff.
Yeah, local elections.
As a whole, though.
That's true.
There's a lot of good people, but it's as a whole. It's
Very
like once we all get on that same page and people start valuing each other and valuing life and valuing this, and then we can come out of it. But until then, it's like, it's like it's like the topics that we need to talk about, no one's talking about it. And when you do talk about it, they treat you like you're a Trump supporter, and you can't say anything. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, come on, man.
Yeah,
if we got 74% single mother rate in just black people, we're not even 50% of the country.
We're not.
Like, it's like 10% or something like that. So if it's that low and 75% don't got no fathers, we're doomed. Self-destruction.
I think that, again, there's some truth to that statement, but I also read a report when it comes to activity, like doing things with your kids, going outside with your kids, playing sports with your kids. Black fathers, they're at a high, the percentage they're at is just as high as any other goddamn as any other goddamn man. And the thing is, bro, you're right about how fractured we are, about what we're going through. True shit. But another caveat, I don't want to make excuses for us. Like, we need to get along. No doubt. But, bro, we are the only people here with no language, with no home country. My last name is Anderson. That ain't no African shit. That's a white man. You see what I'm saying? So that's some hell of a unpacking to start from there, and to live in a country that pretty much still treats you like you ain't shit. Because I don't see white kids getting killed by the police. I don't see Asian kids getting killed by the police. Now, it could be happening. I just don't see it.
And they don't talk about it.
You see what I'm saying? I just don't see the shit. You see what I'm saying? So, yes, we got a lot of shit to work on, but this system has handed us motherfucking doozy, and we gotta figure, because just like you said,
I'm not with these people.
Huh?
I hate, like, I feel you about white nationalism. And,
yeah.
I mean, it's in politics, it's higher up, but I just that's why I don't like speaking to people like that, just based on the fact, like, I just stick to the music, because when they hear me speak, it's like, dang, you're going against the grain, you're doing this, but it's just in a sense of, I just like to think for myself. I was always taught that.
Yeah.
Even if 75 people say this, how do you feel about it? And from what I've seen from black people, we don't care about the average black. They don't, you know what I mean? Like, so we kind of doing it to ourselves. But I see what the system is doing to us. But it's like, we got to overcome that. Like, it's something we got, like, as a whole. We just need a global. That's why we got to start making our own stuff. That's why I like this platform with the media, because the average person can see this and think outside the box instead of just being like, okay, this is what the wave is.
And I don't like to, because I'm constantly posting news stories, and my whole thing is just letting black people know what's going on in society. Now, you have to be careful though, because I don't want to get into, like, how can I put it? Like, fear mongering. I don't want to scare black people. Oh, the boogeyman is coming to get you. Ooh. I don't want to do that. But I fact check every story I post. I just want to let you know what's going on in our community. Now, if you want to hear about specific things about politics, specific things about, you can go to CNN, you can go to you can go to other places for that. But I think we need to be informed on what's going on in our community and hear it from a fair perspective too, because some people that I follow online who support black people and they hella about the black struggle, they kind of focus on, well, white supremacy this or white supremacy that. Well, again, that's a part of it, but you want to have, like, a complete conversation with somebody and from all angles. Like, if you support Trump or support Hillary or whatever, I'm not just going to automatically say, fuck you, but I want to have a conversation. You know what I'm saying? I feel differently about it, but I want to have a conversation. And just like we were saying earlier, we need to be able to say, okay, what do we agree on? That's what Killer Mike was trying to say. Let's find something we agree on, and we approach it from that perspective. You feel me?
Right.
Yep.
Now, I just saw bruhs, like, Trump's, I just saw the stuff that he was talking about
Mm-hmm.
was I felt it put me politically in a better situation than what Hillary was talking about, because he ran against Hillary.
Yes.
Then we started doing our information about her. It's like,
well,
you know, I know it's like
yeah.
the lesser of two evils. Which one you gonna take?
Mm-hmm.
But that's why I think the media pushed it to Hillary. So now it's in the sense of, if I say Trump's name, it's like, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't even hear nothing that I'm talking about to present my facts on why I did it. That's kind of why it was good to talk to you, to at least speak my point.
Yeah, let me ask you a question. I just thought about this. Because, you know, to say that Trump has good policies, let's take the color of his skin out of it. Sure.
Yeah.
He has put some things in place. Being a great businessman that he is, he's put some things in place that people can capitalize off. Great. Let me ask you a question. Do you think Donald Trump is racist?
I haven't seen him I ain't seen him do no like real racist stuff. I mean, the media blow up stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't never seen him just walk up to a black person, get your black ass away from me.
Of course.
Or you N-word or anything like that.
Of course. So here's the thing. Hillary or Trump, it is the lesser of two evils thing. The presidential election, you know, I'm going to try my best this year to get really involved with the local politics going on here in Sacramento, because I think that's important. But the presidential election with the Electoral College and how the president is actually elected into office, I think it's just like a dog and pony show. But with Trump, before he became president, there's things about him that made me feel like he was racist. So again, like I was saying, I'm not going to see one thing from somebody or hear the media tell me about somebody and go with that shit.
Yeah,
Donald Trump,
right.
when the Central Park Five, the brothers who was falsely accused of that shit, when that shit was going on in New York, Trump put out a full-page article.
He did.
Now, around the same time.
Can I tie it back to?
Go ahead.
I'm gonna tie that back to not to cut you off. Sorry about that.
Go ahead.
But I'm gonna tie that back into what me and you were talking about earlier, on me forgiving my dad.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a certain age in life, it was like, man, fuck this nigga. Now that I'm older and mature, I can see through the vision that's happening. So back then, he was a young pilot. He was just a young dude getting money. He had some money. His dad funded him. So I could see why he probably had that perspective. And at that time, it was way more blatant racism than it is now. So he probably had a perspective on his colleagues or the people he was doing business with. He probably not doing business with them right now. So he probably has a different perspective on black people,
so you
especially being a businessman.
Now, here's the great fucking point. But here's the thing, bro. When I'm watching Donald Trump campaign and he's at these rallies, I don't know if you remember seeing any of the rallies, D, but I promise you, bro, he used racially charged language to win the vote from poor white people. Somebody black in the audience yelling, he said with his own mouth, "Get him out of here." If it was the 60s, he'd be hanging over there by that tree. So if it acts like a duck, it barks like a duck, to me it's a goddamn duck. So I'm going to call him racist.
Hillary called black young men predators.
She is.
So you didn't vote for him, you voting for the girl that's saying predator.
So it's like it too.
Pizzagate, like, man, like that's our country. They're black people, since they put us in a condition, we think day to day.
True.
These white people, they think years and months and decades ahead. So you got to think. They gave us, George W. Bush was the worst president on the history of the earth. But I didn't see him get the same backlash that Trump got. Then what did they do? They put in a black dude to give the black people like, look, we got y'all. Calm down. I know y'all hate all the stuff that's going on. They did the Patriot Act and everybody's a terrorist and all this stuff. And it's like they gave that to pacifiers and nobody even looked at Obama's record or what he did or his policy. I'm not saying you, the average guy. He's black. Black power. I'm going for him.
Nope.
And it's like, dude didn't even do really a lot for the country like that.
He didn't do nothing for us. He didn't do nothing for us.
And that's why I feel Trump has done a little bit, even with getting people out of jail, Even I think the immigration laws that they're doing is helping black people out.
What you mean?
Because a lot of the immigrants are coming in here doing a lot of illegal stuff, getting funding. They stealing jobs. It's a lot of stuff that they come over here and get that black people should be getting, but they don't. Not even black people, white, poor people.
There's a point. There's a point to that, because I think, another immigrant group coming over here, it seems like when that happens, they still get elevated above black society somehow.
Quick.
So I do have, but at the end of the day too, how I be feeling, like when I'm looking at Mexicans sell oranges on the corner, when I'm looking at Mexicans at Home Depot staying in, I don't know if some of the immigrants coming here is actually doing a job that any of us would want anyway. I don't see niggas quick to go cut some grass for some money. You see what I'm saying? A lot of
right.
is doing shit that we probably wouldn't want to do anyway. And how I see it, picking on a brown person is picking on a brown person. If you get to picking on them, shit, we next is how I be thinking in my head. You know what I'm saying?
No, you're right. You're right. 100%. That's where it's coming to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, in a sense of, it's like a lot of the temp agencies, they'll hire illegals because they don't got to pay them that much.
Very true. Very
true. So that's what I'm saying. They're like the new black.
Yes, sir.
Because they can get them to do stuff for way less or way cheap. Like, It's like damn near a sweatshop in America.
Yes, sir.
I'm not saying we shouldn't do them jobs or we shouldn't get them jobs. I'm just saying it's like even the population, food, there's only a certain amount of food that's being grown. They got to eat too.
Mm-hmm.
So everything comes into play. It's just a lot of stuff that's going on that people won't, that be scared to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
That I think that Trump or Candace Owens is speaking about, because they feel that they're empowered to speak. And if it helps blacks, if it don't, it don't.
True.
I don't think he's just in there just to, I hate black people.
No. But I think it's all about tone and delivery, bro. Candace Owens, when she talks, I've heard some good shit she's saying, but honestly, bro, it sounds like she's talking down to me. It sounds like she's telling me, just like Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby caught black when he done his popular pound cake speech, where he went around the country basically telling black folks, same shit we saying now, you go to school, your fathers ain't in the home, quit having babies so early. He gave up some game, but the problem, how he said it, how he presented his argument was talking down to us because of everything we do. We are a little hypersensitive about shit, and we are always calling conspiracy. Like, it's so many conspiracy theories. Well, look, who has been treated the way that we've been treated? That's why we're a little more sensitive. We're like, hey, you trying to fuck me over? Hey, you trying to fuck me over? And that's because we always getting fucked over.
But I just see, like, what you're saying. If we've been fucked over that bad, why we don't have no more, like, that much sense of pride?
You're right. No, you're right. I think everybody black.
But that's, again, we don't, as black people, we don't have a culture. Like, we think Michael Jordan shoes and smoking blunts and twerking is our culture, and it's not really a culture. So it's like we don't have anything. And that's another thing too. But that's just where we gotta start. We gotta figure out what's gonna be the culture.
And
because in a solid culture, right? In a solid culture, that means everybody's on the same level of thinking.
Yes.
So if you a man and I'm a man, that this woman, if she's in a real culture, she understands that me and you think the same. So the BS that she pull on you, she can't pull on me because we got a solid culture. And that's what's going on. Is some dudes, they got a solid culture. Some dudes is just out like, I ain't tripping. I'll marry her and she has 7 kids and and I'll accept her for doing this. And it's like, that's what's getting us as a man. That's why I don't put it on nobody but black men. We got to stand up. It's our time. We don't, you know what I mean? We got to be consistent as one because the women feel like I can't even go to a black man. Well, I can't even speak to him. He
True.
doing this. He doing that. He ain't got no money.
And I know a lot of black men, like everybody I fuck with, is doing
Mm-hmm.
something positive, either for their family
Okay.
or for the community. So again, that's a true statement. But this society has elevated black women and kind of pushed down black men. So black women are looking at us through the eyes of a white woman. You can't look at your black man the way a white woman looks at a white man, because it's different for us. It's not more of us in the penitentiary for no reason. Like crack cocaine did a number on our motherfucking ass. We still recovering.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's a combination of accountability and dodging what's been happening in this system.
But if we had that support from our black men, right? And black men was standing up, they understand once we do that, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're going to be in power. Because we, like you said earlier in the conversation, we the culture. They follow us to do whatever they doing. So once we get it to the point where we lead it, that's why they scared of us.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you talk about hip-hop culture, Public Enemy had a album called Fear the Black Planet.
Yes, sir.
Once that comes and we all on the same page, there's nothing they can do. And that's probably how it was back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
We probably ruled everything and they just flipped it on us and told us a different story because they don't want us to know what we really capable of. And it's like, I see it, bro. We got the smartest, the beautifulest, the strongest, the dope. Like we do everything, but it's just our insides, our insecurities, our fear. It's just like, so it's just, I don't like, that's why I'm saying I don't have one solution. I could just speak my opinion, but it's like, it's going to take a wave of us to change what's going on.
And having these kind of conversations is important too, because we can disagree, like just like Killer Mike said, we can disagree on some points, but if the overall mission is to put us in a better place, we need to find like commonalities that we can use to improve everything, bro. So, you know what I'm saying? I definitely appreciate you talking with me today, man. You know, you're a little bit younger than me, but I like the fact that you question everything and you think about everything. That's really how you become a smarter person. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So I will continue to encourage you to think for yourself, research things that you may be curious about just to get your own perspective, because you're right, what can happen to some of us, because, all right, for instance, I take 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes to write a particular story about something or put together a video.
Mm-hmm.
I take my time to do this shit.
Yeah.
30 to 40% of the time when I put this shit on social media, some people comment, they'll write 15 like a whole paragraph of a comment on the title of my video. Not even, they didn't even read it. They didn't even read it.
Yeah.
They go off the title and just jump in my ass. Boom, 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 boom. I'm like, whoa. And then I asked them, hey, bro, did you watch the video? Yeah, man, I watched it. My bad. What the fuck we doing then? You can't be so reactionary, man. You got to look at something. If you don't like it, use critical thinking to come to a better resolution on your own. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
That shit is crazy, bro. So I appreciate having the conversation with you, D. I hope you continue to do.
I mean, let me know, man. We can do it again anytime. I'm just,
yes, sir.
You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
I'm always available, especially you family, so it's good.
Yeah, and just talk about different topics. So, you know, everything both of us was saying is true. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, right, right.
It's a matter of how it's presented to our people, but everybody.
But
go ahead.
Before we cut it off, this is a point that I want to make, right? Okay. Even though we was on different sides of the spectrum, did anybody cuss anybody out?
Mm-mm.
Did we have any did we have any fights?
Mm-mm.
Did we have any, man, forget what? And that's just what we need more in the community.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you blue and I'm red, who cares? Let's meet in the middle and make purple.
There we go. There we go. As long as you about fighting for your people, but you made good points there. I do see, because I'm always in the South. Like I coach in the South. My older kids live in the South. My business in the South. So I'm around black folks a lot now. And I look at us and I say, okay, I'm looking at this mom or this or this dad, and I'm seeing what they're not putting into that little boy I'm looking at. I'm seeing what they don't care about. So my thing be, okay, how can I reach this brother? How can I make him like start thinking differently about himself? Because that's where it starts, D. And it sounds like you know that. You see what I'm saying? We start with
I work with kids.
Your personal.
I work with kids.
Yep.
So it's like
your personal inventory, and the facts are when you go to our community, when I go to like my son's practice or when it's been school events, when I'm going to my son's shit in the South area, it's not a whole bunch of men there. So that's a fact.
Nope.
You see what I'm saying? Regardless of how we got there, I see what you're saying. Regardless of how we got there, we need to fix it. But my thing be, I think if you look back at history, do your own due diligence, that can inspire you to say, you know what, I'm tired of this shit. I ain't gonna be no statistic no more. I'm finna start moving this way. Or I'm finna start moving that way. You feel me?
Yep.
So
that's why we need platforms like yours to just speak to fathers, though.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
That was my thing, bro. Having my kids so early, D, I seen like the stereotypical way that I was moving. I couldn't deny it. When I started learning shit, I was like, man, you was on some bullshit. Ain't no way I can't really fix my lips to call it nothing else. But I was like, all right, look, what you gonna do about it though? Because you in your kid's life, you working to make sure they become the best men possible. But what about all these other little kids though? What about these dudes that's 18, 19, 20 that may have a baby on the way? He don't even know about his history really. He don't even know he's part of a cycle.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or maybe using history or information to create that spark in his mind to say, fuck that. When I look at somebody black, I love them. You see what I'm saying? I'm not come at you and be all negative towards you and cut you down when you step on my shoe, but Smud can come to your house and cut your shit off, and you ain't finna punch nobody. You ain't finna do shit but beg and plead to get your shit off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
so
real
man,
talk.
I appreciate you speaking with me today, brother. Before we go, man, tell me about any new music you got coming up or any new projects or anything.
Well, man, as everybody see, I'm kind of big on Instagram. A lot of people rock with me on Instagram. So I just been dropping different projects. So I dropped Synth 89 Volume. I dropped Synth 89. 2 months ago, I dropped Synth 89 Volume 2. Last month, I dropped Synth 89 Volume 3. It was my birthday, September 18th. I dropped I think it was Volume 4. So I'm just about to follow up with that.
Okay.
So I just been dropping mixtapes month by month. But like I said, for rapping is just like, it's kind of like the side hobby for me. If because I use my degree, you know, in schooling for 9 to 5. I work with kids, so that's like easy stuff. Yeah. That's like guaranteed money that's just too easy. And for me, rapping, I could just write a verse right now, like 20 seconds, and record it one take. So I always had that gift. So it's kind of like making mixtapes is easy to me. So it's like, it don't take that long. So that's why I've been just dropping every month. So if you follow me on Instagram, just every month, I'm just been dropping just projects after project. I'm not really into visuals like other people are, but I got to start getting more videos out there because that's what everybody likes. And I'm more just about the music, the bars, the beat, the punchlines, because that's what I came from. I came from when being dope was being dope. Like nobody's dope no more. They just drop a video with girls twerking, and that's your favorite rapper. It's like,
yep. Now give everybody your Instagram, man. Give everybody your Instagram handle.
I change it so much. I kind of don't even. I gotta maybe I can see if I can look at it. Hold on 1 second. Oh, okay. So I'm the Real Dee Sixx, TheRealDeeSixx.
All right. So everybody out there, man, if you into hip hop music, go follow my boy. Check out his music. Comment on what he be doing. You know what I'm saying? Just so he can keep his movement going. I want to thank everybody for tuning into another episode of the Melanated Convo podcast. It was important to me to speak to him about his music, but I knew his views on Trump, and I wasn't trying to like change his mind. We just need to share information. Like if there's anything, because I'm willing to change my mind about something. Everybody has to be willing to, okay, you stand on your square, but if you get new information, if you get something that can possibly change, there's nothing wrong with changing your opinion. But I think overall, the point as Black folks, as melanated people, is we striving together. We want to get to wherever we going together. Everybody wants to see us. Everybody that's Black, like we talking right now, they want to see us doing better, man. So it's all about how we gonna do that. How we gonna get to that place where we can be, where we can see things from a commonality standpoint and get to the next level. You feel me? So conversations like this are extremely important. I'm gonna continue to have them. I'm gonna continue to have on people that I find is interesting, that are passionate about what they're doing. This young brother has an insight on how he feels about politics. I know some young people who just don't give a shit, who not really following it. So the fact that he's
At all.
himself is a great thing, man. If, continue to follow me on melanatedfathers.com, Melanated Fathers TV on YouTube. My Instagram page for the website is Melanated Fathers 100. I want to thank everybody again for tuning into another episode of the Melanated Convo podcast. We out.